Welcome back to Secretly Frequencies, the podcast that meets labels and artists from the Secretly family and hears the untold stories behind their musical history. My co-host today is Bloomington, Indiana DJ and music director of radio station WFHB, Abby Noroozi, who is also the host of our brand new series, Secretly Weekly, which highlights new music from within the Secretly ecosystem. Hey Abby, how's it going?
Hi, Tom. It's going great. I am so super excited to be here and talk to Eaves today. I have been playing the new album on the radio. It's such a great earworm of an album. So I'm really excited to talk to her and learn a little bit more about the songs and her experience.
Absolutely, yes. So as Abby says, today's guest is Eaves Wilder, who recently released her debut album, Little Miss Sunshine, on Secretly Canadian. Eaves grew up in a very musical household. She was surrounded by music almost as if it was a religion, and she started putting out her own music in her teenage years. She carefully created this debut album over 3 rainy months, and it's the combination of all of Eaves' influences, a huge 90s inflected, heavy, dream pop, shoegazy whirlwind of guitars and melodies. As we said, we're really excited to chat to Eaves today and hear a little bit more about this record and where it came from and what she's up to.
As a girl who came of age in the 90s, graduated in 1995, this album immediately grabbed me and pulled me in. And sometimes I feel that I hear younger artists doing their take on the 90s, and sometimes I sort of feel like it might miss a little bit, or it might be the 90s that wasn't good music. But Little Miss Sunshine is just so right on in the vibe and the sound, and also still sounds completely current. So I'm thrilled to be here.
Right on. Let's get Eaves in here. Hi, Eaves. Welcome to Secretly Frequencies. How's it going?
Hey guys, I'm happy to be here. I'm doing really good. This is like the first interview I've done since I came back from holiday, and I feel like I really missed talking about my music. I think it's turning me into a narcissist. I'm so ready to be back.
I'm glad you're looking forward to talking about it because we've got quite a lot of your music to get through in this episode. First of all, I just need to ask you, Eaves or Evie, what's your preference?
You can call me either one. Evie is usually what people call me.
Okay, nice fun. Let's hear the first song.
straight in. That's the Great Plains.
That's right, it is The Great Plains from your debut album, Little Miss Sunshine. Taking straight off with an album track here. Now, you said that this song contains a lyric that encapsulates the record. I'm going to read the lyric out. As I erupt into a blaze, it's okay, the sky will do the same. Let no one bat an eye when every year I'll hibernate till May, because no one blames the clouds for rain. So take me as I am, tears down my face. I wanted to get stuck into this lyric a bit. Can you explain more about what this means to you and why you feel like it encapsulates the record?
Yeah, absolutely. That's my favorite lyric from the record, I think, because kind of every song I was writing at the time, and obviously there's like, like 20, which I didn't end up using, but I was trying to hone in on the same thing of like, I felt for the first time in my life, I wasn't a child and I was an adult in society, and I knew I kind of had to have a function or a purpose, and I was really not doing well at the time. Like, I was physically quite ill and I was also mentally like not in the best place. And I started being really jealous of bees and like trees and shit like that. And I was like, they know what they are. They've got this one function and they come to Earth and they do it and they get out. And I kind of always felt like that's what I wanted to do with being a musician. But writing the album was the first time where I started to think that maybe that wasn't my calling. And so I really wanted to know my calling, but I was too emotional and too much of a mess to kind of be very functioning. So yeah, I started looking to nature and nature cycles and use that as a way to represent all of my kind of repressed emotions and stuff that were coming out. So I think that's why those lyrics resonate with me a lot.
I wanted to ask something or mention something about this song because I read The Little House on the Prairie was a big influence. And I grew up in the 80s watching The Little House on the Prairie, loving Laura Ingalls Wilder. So I'm just curious, how did you get introduced to that and how did that impact the album?
Well, I'm named partly after her. Wilder is my middle name, and I think my mum grew up in quite a precarious situation where she was kind of having to take care of her family a lot. So I think those books really resonated with her, and they resonated with me growing up as well. Like, I always loved kind of survival stories and the idea of like a bit more of a simple life. And I feel like sometimes as humans, when we're going through crisis, we really yearn to go back and for simplicity. And even though I'm sure it would have been terrible to live like her, there's something that I found really romantic about it, the idea that I wouldn't have my phone and I wouldn't have all of these struggles that I have now, and it only really matters about setting up your house and making your food. It all like the same as how I was jealous of trees, like just knowing your function and life being a bit simpler. So yeah, I just have always really yearned for America. It feels like quite unattainable to me. And I've always just really wished I could live like on the Great Plains like her.
That's very cool.
So with this song that feels really central to this record, I wanted to know how far into the writing process of the record did this song come to you? Was it something that there was an early part of it and sort of laid out the plans for it, or did it appear halfway through?
Yeah, it's funny because it would kind of end up being like a mission statement, but I wrote it about halfway through. But I think that kind of makes sense because I think it was when I was realizing what the record was. I kind of commissioned myself. I was like, well, I realized I'm doing all this American imagery and I'm thinking about Little House on the Prairie a lot. So can I just go full throttle with it? It was very American romanticized. I was listening to a lot of Celebrity Skin by Hole, the album. And I kind of wanted to buy like Malibu or something. So it was about halfway through, yeah.
Okay, shall we hear another track?
Yeah, let's do it.
There is a hurricane going
Hurricane Girl.
So
Yeah.
fast.
Well, all of these songs are like etched into my brain. How long it took. So it's great. This is a game that I feel like I've got a fair chance at. Well, very maybe unfair chance at.
Immediately when I heard the album and then I heard Hurricane Girl, I was like transported back to the 90s. It sounds so authentically from that era, especially the guitar part. And I also feel like I hear a little bit of some Jane's Addiction influence in there. So, yeah, I would just love to hear more about where that song came from and how you got it to sound so perfectly of 30 years ago.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so happy you say Jane's Addiction because I got super into them along with like a few other kind of more classic rocky, rocky bands. And it just like gave me, I don't know, a little spring in my step. Like it gave me some swag in my step that I didn't have because I was feeling really shit at the time. It kind of just made me feel absolutely huge. And I'm not really a guitarist. I write the parts, but I could never play guitar on stage. So that was my challenge. I just really wanted to write a song based around a riff and a riff that I thought would be hopefully good enough to carry a song. So yeah, that's kind of how it started. It was kind of like the Great Plains where it was I kind of commissioned myself. I was like, how far can I take this love of the really elemental kind of sweeping 90s rock? And I think it's called Hurricane Girl because I wanted it to sound really elemental. Like that first Jane's album, almost every song is about a piece of nature and how kind of huge it can make you feel. And obviously that's like a huge inspiration for me for the record. It's like a little tribute, I guess.
That sort of early 90s period that you're drawing on here, it does seem to be something that is sort of resonating with, if I dare say it, Eves, people of your generation. So I'm quite a bit older than you. And I wondered if you had any thoughts as to what it was. Is it just the music, or is there something about that period beyond the music that is appealing to you?
Well, yeah, I guess I will be the spokesperson for my generation right now.
Love it.
Yes, yes, you will.
I will say I just really love analyzing like pop culture in this way. And I did have this theory when lockdown was happening. I remember like cornering everyone I could, like in a smoking area all the time, being like, rock's gonna come back, guys. Because I just felt we are at a point where we are being so isolated and so sterilized all the time. And now, particularly with AI, I think it's really important for people to hear humanity in music and for it not to be all on grid and it not to be all super polished, which sounds like a really kind of maybe like Six Music Dad, a bit like muso thing to say. But I really believe it. Like that's why I started resonating with that music because I grew up in the 2000s. All that I saw on MTV was like powerhouse female vocalists that are amazing, but I didn't relate to them at all. Like they sounded so perfect and their voices were so powerful. I remember one day crying to my mum because I was like, I write all these songs and I'd be so sad if anybody else sung them, but I'm not a singer and I can't sing. And she slipped a list under my door the next day of like Harriet Wheeler, Elizabeth Fraser, Damon Albarn, Perry Farrell, like all these people ended up being my idols, being like, none of these people can sing Evie, don't worry.
I love that.
I love it. I think we need that. I think we're really cruel. I think we're a bit too critical of everyone, and that makes us critical of ourselves. And the thing about the early 90s is like people were just having a go. And I think we could do with that now.
I love that your mom was that encouraging to you.
It was really sweet.
Yeah.
I was such a teenager at the time. I was like, fuck you. So you do sing, don't you? You're saying I can't sing too. Like, what the fuck? And now looking back, I'm like, yeah, she totally was right.
So this is the first song on the album. It was also on a pre-release singles.
Yeah.
I guess that makes it a very good intro song for you. Is that how you conceived of it when you were writing it? Did you think, yeah, this is definitely going to be the first song on the record?
I would love to say yeah, but no. I it was kind of at the point I had no idea what songs was even going to make the record. I just kind of was getting it out. It was actually my A&R Adam. It's amazing, who ended up making the track list. I think he just had more perspective on it than me. And I think it has ended up being the best opening track because it does feel like the opening scene to a movie. Like I am introducing a character in the third person, which is a tense that I'm not in for any of the other records. So yeah, I think it worked out well. So big up Adam.
Nice one, Adam. Friend of the podcast.
I hope he's listening. He should be. He's secretly in society.
Okay, should we hear another song?
Let's do it.
I want a house and I want a cute baby. A simple saying, but it's not simple really, because what can I get that? I ain't got no wisdom in fuck. None moves about getting drunk. I wanna get rich and I wanna be decent. That's unrealistic, cause I stole everything that I own. I'm such a bitch, I never really think I'll leave home. But in my I want a house, but I lose hope daily. A simple saying, cause no one's gonna pay me, so I scrap the vision. Cut my ambition, deny my life ever had a mission. I wish I was kind, and I wish I was giving. It's unrealistic, cause I want everything till I win. I'm such a bitch, I'm never really happy for any work I'm doing anything. But in my
Mountain size.
It is Mountain Sized from Little Miss Sunshine. I wanted to ask again about the lyrics on this one, which you said were a nod to The Fear by Lily Allen, which was one of the first songs that you really fell in love with. What it is about that song in particular, and how you dealt with the fears that you're expressing in this song. It's sort of about a real concern about what it means to be a musician, really, in 2026, right?
Exactly, and I feel like that's exactly what she was doing with it at the time. She was talking about what it's like to be a musician in the 2000s, but instead of kind of victimizing herself, she named herself as kind of part of the problem. She kind of played along with it and she took the piss out of herself. And I wanted to be able to toe that line too, because nothing annoys me more than people that sound quite sorry for themselves in their songs. I love a woman that is not afraid to be unlikable. I think that's why I have such an affinity for Courtney Love as well, because the easiest thing to do as a woman is try and be like all sunshine and rainbows and just be kind of try and be perfect and gentle and sweet and accommodating all the time. And I mean, that's what the album title's about, is like that dissonance between how you feel, maybe how you present. And so yeah, I feel like Lily Allen does that really bravely, and like before a lot of other people were doing it. Yeah, it was quite cathartic for me to just list off everything that was pissing me off about myself at the time.
When I heard Mountain Size, I'm going to mention Jane's Addiction again. Not that I think the sound on this song sounds so much like that, but I feel like the title kind of made me feel like, oh, is she into Jane's Addiction? And another song on this album, I also felt the same way. So I just love looking a little deeper into the sound and maybe what was inspiring you.
You're absolutely right. When I'm doing songs that I've like been really heavily inspired by another band for, I do like to kind of try and name check them in a kind of way, even just like as a joke to myself. Obviously, you know, it's how you picked up, but they've got Ocean Sized, which is like the song that made me fall in love with them. And then there's also Man Sized by PJ Harvey. And those are my two favorite songs at the time. And I guess it kind of made sense because they're both songs about wanting to feel huger than you are. I was in a place where I was feeling quite small in my life. I really wanted to nod to that. Like the first time I ever watched PJ Harvey live, I hadn't really got her before. I wasn't watching her, I was actually watching just this one girl in the crowd who was about my age. She was by herself and she was absolutely losing her mind. Like she was like jumping up and down and just screaming. And I was like, girls want songs that make them feel big. Like I want a song that makes me feel like that.
100%. That's so cool. Giving everybody else some power to sing along with. I love it.
Thank you.
I was interested, you mentioned, you know, Lily Allen, Courtney Love, and some other big influences for you there from the musical world. Is there any people in particular that have been an influence for you, not from the musical world, any writers, any directors, anything like that?
Yeah, actually, for this album, a fictional character called Daisy Jones from, you know, that book, everyone was like obsessed with it like a few years ago, and I was obsessed with it too. And the way they describe how her music sounded in the book, I was like, this is exactly how I wish people could describe music. Like, I want to make what she might have made. And then they did make it, and it was so shit in my opinion. The songs were like not what they weren't what they said they'd be. I like going through history and seeing women in history that I feel like would have been amazing artists if they'd been given the chance. That's why I'm obsessed with the idea of groupies. And I read Pamela Des Barres' book, who Penny Lane, Always Famous, is based off. And that really inspired me. And a lot of this record, I wanted to make the songs that I feel like Penny Lane could have made if she wasn't following around that stupid band and if she'd actually been empowered to make music.
And I can hear that. I can really hear that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's very
Thank
cool.
you.
Okay, well, with that in mind, should we hear some more of this music?
Let's do it. When you be happy. Oh, I sound so little. I hadn't learned to sing and breathe through my nose at the same time yet, so I have a blocked nose for like the first 4 years of me making music. Anyway, yeah, that was When You Be Happy.
Was this your first single?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And you were 16?
I know, I was so little. I was really little. It was like this first or second day of lockdown or something, and I woke up in the middle of the night with this like melody in my head, and I put it into my phone, and it was funny, like it seemed just to go overnight from not thinking I was a producer, guitarist, or a singer, thinking I just wanted to be a session musician or maybe produce for other people, I guess because I didn't have anybody else to help me out because it was lockdown. I ended up doing it all, and yeah, I ended up being the first single and kind of how I went forward, so it felt quite weird.
It's amazing to be that young.
I mean, goodness, writing your songs then and putting them out then. Did you grow up in a very musical house? Were your siblings music fanatics too? And was it something that you knew you wanted to do early?
My family is musical, but no one plays music. Both my parents met through being music journalists in the 90s, and my sister is a music video director.
Oh, wow, right.
But I was kind of the first one to pick up music. One day I just decided to learn piano, and by the end of the day it was just like that was the rest of my life. Like that's literally all I did. Yeah, I've tried to teach my parents a lot, but they hated it. But I quite like it. I feel like maybe in a way it kind of made me feel special because it was like something that they couldn't do. So I'd practiced away so I could kind of show them what I'd been working on. My dad especially is a music journalist, and he just has a whole room full of records, and he just loves everything. They've showed me so many cool bands.
So never this feeling of I want to rebel against music completely. There's too much music in the house. I need nothing to do with it.
Well, yeah, I don't know. You kind of can rebel in your own way. There are certain genres which my parents hate. So, like, they hate punk, and I think that's why I got really into Riot Girl because I would just play it really loudly, and I knew they hated it. They also hate reggae. When I was younger, me and my friends would come round and we'd just blast reggae and piss them off. So we can find our own ways, I think.
That's so great. So you had two big music fanatics as parents. Yeah.
Yeah, they've showed me so much, and they're not pretentious. Like, my dad's favorite of all time is ABBA and ELO, and all he cares about is good songwriting. Like, he doesn't care who it is.
Mhm.
He showed me Rhyme when I was 11 and was like, "You got to listen to this." And was like playing me Dave and J Huss and Stormzy, and like, it doesn't matter what it is. He just, if it's good, he loves it. And I feel like I feel the same way about music too.
I do love some ABBA. I mean, how
Me
can
too.
you not?
How can you not? Yeah.
You're the best.
I had The Winner Takes It On in the car with my children the other day, and my wife doesn't like me playing it because I just start crying every time it's on, and then find the world quite difficult to deal with for about an hour afterwards. It always takes me a little while to get over it. It's a magical song.
Which bit
Yeah.
makes you cry? Like, how long does it take you to burst out?
When that second verse comes in,
Oh,
it is and when you know the story behind that song, that it was actually written by, I can never remember which one it is, Benny or Bjorn. He wrote it for his ex-wife in the band to sing it about him. It's pretty messed up. But maybe we should move on to another song.
Their faces all seem blank as I stared across the pie. Man, we were slowly. And we stretch across the field. I use my mask as a shield, but then they could see and the meds aren't kicking in. Well, you didn't know I'm staying in. Come and get me. You'll stay there. I'm with the only man who is lonely. Sending out all the signs from that place in my mind where things seem so cold sometimes. It's better in the now. That's what I'm all about, and it makes things so lonely sometimes.
oh man, we was lonely.
Oh my goodness, you're very good at this, Eves. Man, We Was Lonely from 2021. This is a year on from your debut single. You know, you're developing your sound a little bit here, even as quite some time ago, and it can be sometimes a little bit eye-rolly to talk about, but I do think it's really important here. You kicked off your career in COVID, and that must have been, I'm assuming that gave you a lot of time to focus on what you were doing here, so maybe they moved very quickly for you. But looking back, sort of would like to know what your experiences of that artistic process was in COVID. I'm also interested to know whether you think, would it have happened so quickly had that not been going on?
That's such a cool question. Because, yeah, I've been thinking about this a bit recently because it's been a bit of time now. Yeah, obviously, COVID was the worst thing ever in lots of ways, but in other ways, I can't see how I would have had that space. I'd just gone to college. Suddenly it was like, hey, well, we're doing all our lessons on Zoom. And I was just officially gave myself permission to just not care. I was like, the best thing I can do now, I've been given this time. I need to fucking cling on to it. And I remember I made a lockdown manifesto, mainly to just stop me from going crazy, but There was about 50 books on there, which were all autobiographies by female musicians. And there were about 100 albums on there and like maybe like 20 music documentaries, and I had them all. And genuinely, that was the foundations of me like finding every band that I am now so inspired by. Yeah, I just don't see how I would have given myself the permission to take that much time out to like essentially piss about. But from doing that, I taught myself how to produce, to sing, and to play guitar. It was so valuable. And yeah, I have no idea. I would have done it anyway. I mean, for the previous 2 years before lockdown, I was making myself send at least 10 emails a day to like people in the music industry to like hear my demo. Yeah, my friends thought I was mental. They were like, can you fucking calm down? Like, we'd be like at lunch, I'd be like, I'm just finding Geffen. And I'd be like sending them these shitty demos. But no, I wouldn't have developed the sound that I ended up liking so quickly, I think.
That's cool. COVID did a lot of bad things, but it also, I feel like it really did allow people to hone in on themselves. And so that's really cool that you had that time to grow and expand.
And I think we're only just seeing the beginning. Like there'll be so much stuff that was doing and building in COVID that we haven't even heard yet.
Yeah.
So during that period, were you able to play with any other musicians? Were you building a band in that time, or was it all you and your computer?
For the songs, it was just me and my computer, but it's funny, I've always been building a band. Like, whatever's been going on, I've always had a band that I'm working on, and I'm, like, always the only person in the band that I'm actually really into the band. I remember I was, like, my bestest friends, I asked them to play for me, and it was great. We had so much fun, because we were all in a bubble. Yeah, we were the only people that could play together, and it just so happened they were all brilliant musicians. Throughout most of COVID, we were playing together, like, once a week, but it was more just for fun, I think. It was really nice.
Do you ever think it's going to be possible for you or for other people to just say, I want to get that period back and I am just going to cocoon myself off? Or do you think there is pressure now that we're through it from the public? And I don't mean in some sort of active, coercive pressure, but just like the general feeling is that now that we've been through COVID, we expect you to be busy and in front of us and doing things all the time.
I thought about that so much because even though in some ways COVID was the saddest and scaredest I've been, in some ways it was also the happiest I've been. I mean, I feel like for everyone it depends on the situation, but for my age group, it was like we had absolutely no responsibilities. It was great. It was like the last kind of party before life got a bit real. And it was like what life would be like if there was no capitalism, which is very particular for us because we were 16. Yeah, I mean, me and my friends, we all talk about it. They're like, shit, that was the last time I was actually kind of happy because after that life got like really real. When I was making this album anyway, I felt like I was in a lockdown. Like my friends didn't see me for months. You know, it was quite selfish. People just didn't see me for ages and I was just in my own little bubble. But sometimes you need that to focus.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to hear another song.
Awesome.
6 months in and he'll turn back. It only takes 4 to drop the act he had. The nice guy done so dirty. He showers me with love, daughters, and like he's still growing, teaching and learn to fix. It's been drilled into my head since I was a kid.
I Stole Your Jumper. If it's people's song, surely everyone gets it.
Well, it's funny, Eves. I was thinking about this. There are a couple of artists we've had on the show who have had like 35 years or more of putting records out. And even then, largely they've got them, but there has been a couple of songs where they've had to take a beat. I think that's an interesting question. Like, do you go back and listen to, obviously your record has only just come out, but like, have you gone back and listened to your record a lot since you finished it?
You know, it's funny, like with all of my other songs, not even when they come out, by the time it's like 2 months until release, I'm like, fuck this song sucks, I don't want to promote this song, I hate this song. And then I think that was a part of the reason why I started to think maybe I should quit. I'm like, why the fuck don't I enjoy this? I made a huge effort with this album to make an album that I do love. So it's weird, I haven't had that yet where I've started to hate it. I'm sure it will come, but I have listened to it. Sometimes when I'm drunk, I listen to it and get really in my feelings. And yeah.
So when I was listening to stuff and going through what we were going to play today, and I listened to I Stole Your Jumper, and then I was like, what is a jumper in the UK? So I get on and I search, I'm like, oh, it's a sweater. Because in the US, a jumper is a dress, like a sleeveless dress that you would wear a shirt underneath, almost like an overall sort of situation. Yeah.
Oh
It's
shit.
the whole perspective of the song. And I
That feels like a really different song. That feels like it feels a lot darker if it's like
your dress.
What I actually originally did that the song is based on, I actually stole his pants. But again, you can't say that because the Americans think I've stole his trousers. So I thought I was doing a great solution. I didn't know about this jumper thing. You can't win.
I'm so sorry to let you know that.
Actually, that is a good way to lead on to this question I have for you, which is, do you start with the title and build the song out from there?
I don't think I've ever written the title first, actually. For me, it always is screamingly obvious. The second I write what the title for the song is, it's always extremely obvious to me that like that's the title, because it's just probably, I don't know, I guess the phrase from the song that for me will jump out the most. So yeah, as soon as I wrote, I'm sure I Stole Your Jumper was called something else until I wrote the lyrics I Stole Your Jumper, which is how it usually works with the other ones as well.
And I have to ask, as a British person of a certain age, I did wonder if this was a response song to the Sultans of PNFC, Where's Me Jumper? And I wondered if anybody else has ever asked this.
They have. I think it's like the top comment on the music video for it is someone being like, well, I guess they've got their answer. And that it really made me laugh.
Okay, should we go on to the next piece of music?
Yeah, let's do it. Are You Diagnosed? That one.
That was Are You Diagnosed from Little Miss Sunshine. I did a little looking into this song because it's so relevant. Are You Diagnosed is like very relevant. And then I went on to reading a little bit and I saw that this is really kind of a commentary a little bit on mental health services in the UK. So yeah, I would love to hear more about your experience.
It's funny, it's with that song, it's so short, but I was trying to argue two sides of an argument, which is something that I've been really caught between. I went to a school in like quite a posh area of London where it was like a lot of currency to kind of pretend you were really depressed for clout, which I know sounds insane, but like Tumblr did it. Like it's just a thing that happens in school. It's like cool to be sad. And I was actually going through like a massive nervous breakdown and it really angered me to see. But then the other side of that is then when I was in the mental health services, I felt that judgment from them of like, you're not ill enough. And I started to think like, fuck, I'm treating these people like they're treating me. So I'm just punching down. Like so it's kind of about the frustration of that. It's like really sad. You know, we're so lucky we have the NHS, but it's so underfunded and it takes about 2 years to be on that waiting list. It's insane. And like, you know, in that time, people die. People get so much worse. And even more sinister than that, people game the system by getting more sick so that they will get help sooner, which is something that I found myself doing as well. And it makes me really sad, the idea that that's probably still happening. So yeah, wanted to get out my frustration about that. And it's funny, yeah, a lot of people seem to kind of get what it's about, even though it's quite a nuanced, tricky topic.
It's interesting to hear that perspective just because over here, our healthcare system is terrible in a different way. You know, I mean, there's so many people that can't get insurance or can't afford insurance who are just screwed. They just don't get what they need.
The few times I've gone to America, the difference is so stark. Like, even though the NHS is not perfect at all, we still have that. And you do see so many people who are clearly in crisis. Only really Scandinavia's got it sorted, haven't they? We all need to live there.
Yeah, no, for real.
Eaves, is okay to talk about a little bit. You said that you have ADHD, is that right? And I wanted to talk a little bit about that it can actually be a little bit of a superpower for some people as well, ADHD, that there is actually like some really amazing aspects of it. And I'm wondering if that's something that feels true to you. If so, if you ever like sort of harnessed that and how you work with that when it comes to your creative output.
Yeah, I don't mind talking about it at all. I love hearing people talk about it. I only got diagnosed as I was writing this album, so that I got diagnosed really quite late in my life. And I always knew there was something a bit funny going on with me, but I couldn't like quite put my finger on it. But it's funny, I felt like I found ways to harness that superpower-like nature of it my whole life. I remember just knowing that in order to have a good day writing, I had to have gone on a run in the morning. Now that I know I have ADHD, I've realized that that's because I was tricking my body into releasing so much adrenaline that it would help me hyper-focus. I think I was finding ways to game it. And it has been a superpower. Like, when I tell my friends the amount of hours that I do in the shed, where I'm literally just doing the same tar line over and over, they're like, you're fucking mental. Like, if I care about something, I can just do it. Also, if something isn't good enough, I will just lose interest, hopefully. There's been times where that hasn't happened, but I need something to be hooky and riffy and catchy enough to keep me interested. So I kind of trick myself into trying to make songs that I find the most interesting, I guess.
I really love hearing you talk about that because I think it is a really interesting side of this thing that people sometimes think of these diagnoses as like a sentence for you, but actually there are hard parts with it. Of course, there are some absolutely amazing things about it as well.
Thanks for asking me about it. I think it's good that people are starting to talk about it more.
Yeah, I think that as a girl and a woman, those things get overlooked, like ADHD and autism, those sorts of things get missed. And I feel like once you do get a diagnosis, it can help you be like, now I get myself a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know, it's empowering.
Exactly.
Okay, let's hear another song.
Like a English tea.
English tea. I love this game. I've literally never been as good as a game in my whole life.
So yeah, that's English Tea from the album Little Miss Sunshine. Just before I get into this song a little bit, something that we've not spoken about is how you ended up working with Secretly and what excited you about being part of the label.
Well, it's funny. I remember being 15 or 16 at school, and I would always just kind of go off on my own on my laptop. I'd like pretend I'm working while just like buying shoes and like researching labels and stuff. And I remember having watched Sharon Van Etten at Green Man that year, and I was just absolutely transfixed. And I was also obsessed with Angel Olsen. I was really into trying to find a label that seemed like they were treating female musicians well, because I don't know, I guess I've heard too many horror stories because of my parents, maybe. And I thought they were both signed to the same kind of group. And I still have the notebook. It was like, sign to, like the number 2, secretly, and all spelled wrong. And I kind of forgot about that until I was like 17 and I got a DM from Ophir. And I was like, great, another fucking spam DM, like as if, you know. And then she went on to explain it a bit more, and I was like, oh shit, they're really serious. And she was obviously, as you guys know, she's A&R for Secretly. And yeah, I was just ecstatic because I then remembered how much I'd wanted to sign to them, and I really, really like them as a label. I have lots of friends now that are starting to be signed to other labels and have been signed to other labels, and I've never heard of a label that functions like Secretly. It's so full of music lovers, and it's so gentle and like nurturing. Yeah, you guys rock. You are the best one. That's why I wanted to sign to you so long ago.
Big shout out to everybody in the offices at Secretly.
Yeah, when I first met Adam, who's my A&R now, like we just spent the first hour just talking about 4AD and like all the bands we love on it, and it's just so great to be able to talk to people that have such similar tastes and mindsets and stuff all the time.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask a little bit about like the recording of the album, which we haven't touched on that much. You know, we talked a bit about you starting off, but how did you decide who to work with on this record? And love to know what you enjoyed about the process and what you found difficult, if anything.
Well, I ended up working with Andy Savers, who he did my first EP. And I think I was in a place where I needed to work with someone that I knew. I knew him really well because working together before, and these songs felt like quite a big jump for me, and I felt quite vulnerable about them, and I didn't know. Yeah, I don't know. So he ended up coming and visiting me in the shed a few times, and just like, all I needed really to just hear someone be like, okay, I see what you're doing. This is good. And that is what he did. And it really meant a lot. So how we work is I'll record all the parts in the shed, and then we'll go re-record them at his studio and with his input as well. And honestly, he's great. The process was grueling because it's like, I'm such a control freak. Everything has to sound completely right. And I think the reason why I like to produce is so I didn't have to explain my thoughts, because I find that quite hard. So doing that was tricky, and I feel quite introverted. It's nice for me to be able to do everything. You know, there's a comfort in people not being able to watch you. And so I found that really hard. You know, there are some songs that like I didn't even like, and he was like, no, that's like a single. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, he had just this amazing perspective on everything that I really, really needed. And yeah, I'm really grateful. For the actual recording, I'm under no illusion of what a good bassist I am or drummer. I got
People to step in to do that.
Yeah, my band came in and did bass, drums, and we had 2 amazing musicians take turns doing lead guitar bits. And we had an amazing string player as well. That is honestly one of my favourite parts of the job, actually, is to be able to take these things that are just quite shitly recorded on my computer and give it to a proper professional musician, and they just make it 10 times better than you could have thought. So yeah, not just me.
Is there any particular memory you have of that recording? Any one bit that super stands out to you, or like a particularly great day that you had?
There's a song called Just Say No, and there's a line in it about like the police, and Andy had this awesome idea to make a synth sound like a police siren going off the whole time, and it's so fucking cool. It's one of my favourite sounds on the whole album. And then towards the end, I also got really ill over this time. I was struggling quite a lot, and we had this amazing woman called Violetta come in, and she played all the strings on the album, and I was just sobbing the whole way through. This is so beautiful. I couldn't believe it, because it's so romantic hearing strings. Like, it feels so grand. So yeah, those are 2 highlights.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, one more song then.
Everybody Talks.
That was Everybody Talks from Little Miss Sunshine. And that one, when the single came out, was it the first single?
Yeah.
Okay, that was like, I can get in a loop with certain songs. And that for sure was one that I could not stop listening to for a little bit.
Cool. I thought it would be like maybe too long or like weird to like be one of those loopy songs. That's so nice to hear.
Oh, so good.
Thank you.
I also wanted to mention that I love the music video for that song. It is like one of the coolest perspectives I've never ever thought about being in a crowd at a show and then, you're facing the opposite direction and singing. It just was really a very, very cool idea. I've never seen that.
Thank you so much. Well, that was my boyfriend's idea, actually. I got to give him credit because the song's about being in a crowd, but it's also about being on stage. And he was like, we're about to go to a festival in like 2 days, just do it then. And I love how it turned out.
It's very cool. I love it.
So, the album is out. It must feel quite awesome and strange to like finally have this big project out. I'd love to know what your experience has been like letting this record go out to the public and how you're feeling about it all. And also what you're thinking about what's next, what the rest of the year is looking like for you.
Yeah, it's genuinely one of the trippiest, weirdest, physicalist, mentalist things I've ever gone through in my life is like making this album and putting it out. It's just been so emotional on so many levels. And the day before it came out, I was expecting anything but this. I was absolutely beside myself. I was like, can we stop it from coming out? Like,
oh no.
I was like, I just want to keep it. I just want to keep it. I don't want anyone to hear it. I just want it to be mine. Like, it's mine and it's helped me and I just want to keep it. And anyway, I got over that because people started being nice to me about it and I was like, this is great. And it's been really, really great. It's kind of only just settling in now that it's out and it's done and there's no more I can do on it. It's over. And that's quite nice. I mean, yeah, I immediately started making more music as soon as it was out. It just felt like my brain had a bit of space. I'm trying to make an album right now based off this like fairy book that I'm reading, which will never see the light of day, but I'm just doing it to keep me kind of occupied. For the rest of the year, we're just playing a lot. We're mainly just focusing on playing and getting like really tight as a band, I think.
Is that something that you enjoy, like the live aspect of stuff? You've made this record and you've been playing with your band, but are shows something that you like actively look forward to?
Yeah, it's funny. At the very beginning, like, I absolutely dreaded it. I fucking hated it. For like the first few years, it went against everything that feels natural for me. Like, I'm better at working on my own and I still find singing really unnatural and I kind of felt really embarrassed. It's like, why am I... You really have to have a lot of confidence to be able to be on stage and be like, yeah, I deserve to be the loudest thing in this room right now. And for everybody in here to have spent their evening coming here to watch me do this thing for 30 minutes. It's quite a lot. But kind of wrote this album also to combat that. I wanted to write songs that I would feel really excited to play on stage and that I feel like would be good in a live environment. And more recently, I've been really, really enjoying it like a lot. And I've also just got a great band, like they're incredible. So yeah, I'm really starting to like it a lot.
Do you have tour this summer? Are you playing a lot of shows?
Yeah, mainly festivals. We just finished 3 days of festivals this past weekend. We've got ones coming up this weekend. The one that I'm most excited about is Green Man Festival. That's where we filmed the Everybody Talks music video. And I was just in the crowd and we've just been booked for a stage a lot bigger than I thought we were going to be booked for. And I'm like so excited. We're already trying to plan what we're going to do and stuff like that.
That's very cool. Well, you should
Thanks.
visit us in Bloomington. Come over and do a US tour. And
I would literally love to so much. I'd love to see what American crowds are like compared to our crowds. Like, I wonder if we're a bit more reserved because generally we tend to be. Or yeah, I think that's the coolest bit about touring is seeing how it changes from venue and country to country and stuff.
Okay, so we're wrapping up here, but we wanted to know, we've played a number of your songs here, but if you were to choose one song that we haven't played, what would that song be and what would be the reason for that choice?
I think I would probably pick a song called Summer Rolls. Oh, do you like that one?
I have that written down here as a song I would have picked, would have been
Oh,
that
thanks.
song.
Oh,
It's a great
thank
song.
you.
And again, I felt a little like, is that a Jane's Addiction
Yeah,
summertime
yeah.
rolls? Yay, I'm so proud. That's
Because I
great.
love that song so much,
Yeah,
Summertime Rose.
so
Oh,
good. So is Summer Rolls is such a
oh,
good song.
I just think it's so beautiful. And it really feels like a closer. I can't remember if it actually is the album closer.
I think it is.
Oh, sick. Yeah, it just has that like kind of lethargic kind of end of summer feeling. And I think it's so epic sounding. And I think the last song on the album should always be epic sounding. So I kind of tried to harness that and also some magical mystery tour vibes on this
Yeah.
song.
Well, now that we've talked about it a bit, I have to ask you, what's your opinion on the Jane's Addiction beef and the onstage fighting that's happened over the last year or so? It must be heartbreaking for you to see that happen.
It is, except I got to see them a week before that incident
Oh,
happened.
fantastic. Okay.
I was like,
Wow.
thank fuck. It's literally the best gig I've ever been to in my life. And I just felt like really grateful. I do think it's really funny though. I can't lie. Like, it just would never happen now. Like, bring back bands that are fucking fighting on stage and each other. I just watched the Brian Jones Massacre documentary as well. And I was like, I can't believe these guys are beating each other up every night on tour. And like, it's normal. Yeah, obviously it's really sad. I love both Perry Farrell and Dave Navarro, and I don't know what the beef is, but they need to put it aside because their music's too good, you know.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Need to get out there.
Should
Yep.
we expect it in your shows then that you're actively encouraging your bandmates to have a little bit of a punch up on
Yeah,
stage?
yeah, we've all been beating each other up every show just for some rock credibility.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us today on this episode. It's been really lovely chatting with you about your great record. Yeah, thanks
Oh,
so much for taking the
thank you.
time.
Thank you guys so much. You're both lovely. I really, really loved your questions. I've never got those these questions before. They're really interesting. Thank you.
Aw, it was very fun.
Okay, well, we'll catch you soon, Eves.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. The Secretly Society podcast is an original production of the Secretly Group. The project manager for the Secretly Society podcast is Coco Segaller. Robbie Morris is the creative director. Editing and mixing by Isaac Sanchez. Look out for more from the Secretly Society wherever you get your podcasts. We'll close it out with Eve's song choice, Summer Rolls.
Bet the summer